Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So I'm actually headed out to Impact tomorrow. This video is going to be out after Impact, but there's one thing that I wanted to get done on the car before the show, and that is the final piece of the engine bay. I'll open up the hood in a second, show you everything that we got going on, but the last and final piece that I wanted to get on the car, just in general, not just for the show, but you know, just to make the engine bay look the way that I want it, is to get a carbon fiber radiator support brace. So as you can see, we got a beautiful, beautiful carbon support brace right here. This is by a brand called Dinmann. I'm not really sure how to actually say it, but I actually picked this up from a buddy. You guys may know him. He goes by Jet Puffed on Instagram. His name is Brian. Super, super awesome dude. He actually had this laying around brand new, and he gave it to me for a really, really good deal. So I decided to pick it up. So as you can see, this piece weighs like absolutely nothing. We will do a weight comparison with the stock one. The stock one's actually decently heavy. But as you can see, it's carbon fiber through and through. You know, it's not just a piece of plastic with carbon laid on top. This is a legit piece, and it is absolutely beautiful. So let me go ahead, open up the engine bay, show you guys what we got going on in here, and then ultimately how to install that and kind of the final look. All right, guys, so as you can see, we have a decent amount of carbon in the engine bay already. We got the Eventury intake, we got the Eventury engine cover, we also got the Eventury charge pipes as well. So not a lot of color going on in here. That's just kind of the way I like it, nice and simple. The only pop-up color is the blue Golden Wrench cap set, and we got a little blue from the lower class garage bar up front. But otherwise, pretty simple. Got a paint matched Mishimoto charge cooler, so pretty simple. Oh yeah, also we got the Muscleman oil thermostat here, which adds a nice little touch, a little kind of shine, I guess, in the engine bay. Also got some really nice Downstar hardware, titanium, full titanium with the burnt look, and also we did the paint matched battery charge cover as well. So we got a lot of cool stuff going on in the engine bay. One real quick thing I wanted to mention, because I don't think I mentioned it on video yet. I showed it on my Instagram. While we are kind of on the subject of paint match, I also got a custom G8X key made from Mashimaro. Now, if you guys know, the F80 key, the F series, is not really the most exciting looking key. It's pretty simple, pretty boring. It's just a basic rectangle, and there's nothing special about it. There's no special M colors on it or anything. So I decided to kind of upgrade, make it a little bit nicer, and just kind of make it what I think the key should look like for a car like this. So as you guys can see, I ended up getting mine paint matched to mineral gray metallic. So it's an added feature, an extra cost if you wanted to get this done. There's also different options you can do in terms of the coloring of the buttons and everything, but wanted to keep it super simple, do the all black buttons, and I went with the color matched option. So you actually send in one of your F80 keys, and they basically take it apart, put all the internals in here, and they also cut you a brand new key. So this right here is actually cut for my car, which is really nice. You don't get the F80 key back. You do get the original key blade back, but not the full key since they have to dismantle it. So that is something to consider, but I got it. It looks awesome. There's some nice weight to it. It's metal instead of the plastic, so it actually feels like it should, but it came out beautiful. As you can see, the color match is honestly spot on. Kind of hard to tell on camera, but I love the little M logo on the side, and just everything about it looks so nice, and it's just that added little detail that not many people do, and I figured I'd mention it in the video. So if you guys are looking for a really nice key upgrade, check out Mashimaro. They're the only ones that really honestly do this, especially paint matched. And as you can see, the key works. It locks and everything, does everything like it should, opens up the trunk. Again, as I mentioned, it's the same internals as your original F80 key, but it's just in the G80, I guess, chassis, if you will. But really cool, absolutely love it. I think it's a really nice touch. So you also don't have to get a paint match. You can just get the simple silver. If you wanted to, you can get silver buttons as well. But I thought the paint match was pretty cool. So thought I would mention that. Thought it was a pretty cool little detail. So let's go ahead. Let me show you kind of what we got going on in here in terms of the stock bracing, and then we can ultimately get this installed on the car. Also, before we get going, I know I'm talking a lot, but I wanted to mention this since a lot of people ask me about this. This light bar, this hood LED light bar, a lot of people always ask me about it anytime it's in a video. It is absolutely amazing. There's two different light settings, so there's kind of a low and then a high. Kind of hard to tell on video, but absolutely love this. It works on my truck. In terms of the overall length, you can lengthen it to whatever length that you need to, and it gives perfect amount of light in your engine bay. It lasts a long time. It's rechargeable. I'm going to leave a link below. I always have it in my links, but I'll leave a link below at the top so you guys can pick one up. They're awesome. Absolutely love it. I've had it for a few years and it works wonders. But as you can see, this is the stock radiator support brace, I believe is what they call it, on a stock F80. So just made of metal. I believe it's made of steel. It's pretty darn heavy. Again, I mentioned we'll do a weight comparison so you can show just how much weight we're actually saving here. So it's a pretty simple removal and install of this. Just got to remove a few bolts and everything, but as you see, I do have some Downstar hardware, so it's a little bit different than stock. Stock, I believe, are T25 or T30, I forget what it is. But these are 5 or 6 millimeters, I forget. Either way, same process, just a different kind of bolt. But yeah, so what we're gonna do is start removing these. Now I'm gonna actually ceramic coat it once it's in the car, just because it's a little bit easier and I wanna get it on the car first and it can have it cure overnight so it's ready to go. But let's go ahead, let's start removing these bolts and get this one out and show you comparison side by side. Alright guys, so we ended up having to take off the strut brace just because the strut brace lays on top of the support there. So we ended up having to remove that, but as you can see, removed, and we got the stock piece over here. This is a solid, I don't know, maybe 10 pounds. So we'll take out the scale and weigh it. But it's definitely made out of steel. It's pretty darn heavy. I mean, obviously I could pick it up one-handed, but it's much more of a struggle than the carbon fiber one. So we're going to save a decent amount of weight. So as you can see, all the provisions and everything are exactly the same on the carbon one. All the little holes and cutouts and everything exactly the same. It's a copy paste just made out of carbon and much better looking in my opinion. We do need to remove these little tabs. Basically you just turn them and they pop out, and we need to transfer them over onto the carbon piece, but otherwise that's the only thing you need to transfer over to this. They actually pop into these little grommets right here to hold it in place. But yeah, pretty easy. So let me go ahead, get the scale, do a little weight test. It's going to be, you know, not crazy scientific or anything, but give somewhat of an idea of the weight difference. All right, so here's the scale. It is zeroed out. So let me see if I can try to balance this thing on here somehow. Just do it upside down so it's not touching the ground. Let's see. So we are looking at 6.59 pounds, basically 6.5 pounds. Let me get the carbon one and try that one. All right, so here's the carbon piece. And to be honest, I might have to transfer this on over to ounces because I don't think it's gonna really, here we go. So 1.13 ounces. So we're saving roughly what, 5 pounds or so off the front end. Not the biggest difference in the world, but as you can see, I can pick this up, no problem. It's so much lighter. And not to mention, looks way better. So all right, so I figured I'd mention this because this took a little time to kind of figure out how to remove these. I've already removed one of them. Basically this is in 3 pieces. So this little cap comes off, then as you can see I'm bleeding from doing that side, but these little tabs you push in on either side and this whole piece comes out like that. And then there's these little tabs on either side that you kind of push in, and then the whole piece twists and come out. Then you just install everything one by one on the carbon piece. But I figured I'd mention that because it took a little time to understand. I don't want to break anything. So yeah, that one actually came off much easier than that side. So let's go ahead and get this removed, and I'll show you how to put it on the carbon one. All right, so we got the 3 pieces out. Basically what I ended up doing was putting this piece back in because you have to position it like this into that so it fits into the grommet on the car. So I just clipped that in so I can position it in the right orientation. As you can see, there's 3 tabs on the back side. They just have to match up with the 3 kind of provisions on that. So I kind of just find the one that fits the best. And basically once you get it in the right spot, you just basically turn it and it goes into position. All right, so as you can see, we got them in place. This one took a little bit of effort. Ended up using a set of pliers to twist it into place. That side was much easier for some reason. I guess maybe the carbon is a little bit thicker there, but it's in place, perfectly lined up. So now we can throw it in the car. in place. For these are the hood latches. You just want to slip one side on and then slip the other side on. There's only tabs on either side, not all four corners, but it's hard to mess up in terms of the alignment. It goes right back into the same exact spot. Same thing on this side. You just kind of want to lift it up over on this side and on this side, and they go into their respective areas. So now just gonna start bolting everything down. I'm gonna start with the front bolts here first, and then kind of move over here, and then we can get the brace back on and get everything set. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that knocked out. Oh yeah, I'm probably also gonna take this off. I'm not a big fan of logos, so I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll just leave it on for now. But I gotta decide before I ceramic coat it. So looks pretty beautiful, matches everything, and it's looking really, really nice. So let's start putting it back together. We got all these bolts to put back in. Got everything back together and it looks absolutely beautiful. All the holes lined up perfectly. I didn't have to force or kind of direct anything. Everything just lined straight up and was absolutely no problem. Love how that looks. This piece right here was such an eyesore and an otherwise a very, very nice engine bay. And I'm finally happy that I pulled the trigger and got a really nice piece. This really fit really nicely and I'm happy with the quality. The weave is beautiful. You know, it doesn't have any weird pulls or anything. So I better not, because these things are pretty expensive for what they are. It did take a little bit more time for me just because of the Downstar hardware, and I have it bolted into the lower class garage bar here, so I kind of had to get in there and get the nut in there and everything, especially here as well. I had to kind of snake my fingers in there because I do have titanium bolts, which you can't see, in there tying to these two bolts right here. So yeah, install was pretty simple. Did take a little bit of time just because of my certain circumstance, but overall, you know, if you're installing this in your car stock and you just have the stock bolts and everything and no bar up front, you will be good. But man, oh man, I am super, super happy with this engine bay. It turned out beautiful. And one thing I was thinking about changing up, I was thinking about changing it over to the M Performance engine cover, the one with the nice M Power and the colors on there, just to add a little pop of detail in there. I don't know. Even Cherry one is super nice, a little plain overall, which is kind of what I like. So I don't know. I'm thinking about changing it up. Maybe I'll do that one day. But I mean, still looks absolutely beautiful. So yeah, if you guys are looking for one of these, I will link it below. I'll also link Brian's Instagram below as well if you want to pick one up from him. I believe he has a few of these actually on hand that he can sell you guys. Car is 110% ready for impact. Again, this video is going to be posting after impact, but I wanted to show you guys and I wanted to get this installed before tomorrow because I'm headed up super early in the morning. My buddy's actually coming here with his G80, parking it in the garage for the night, and we are going to be headed out super early in the morning. It's about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so for me, so it's gonna be a nice drive in the morning. Just kind of cruise there with my buddy. I'm not going with a huge group or anything like that. And then I'm gonna be meeting up early in the morning with Auto Couture to get into the vendor area and get everything set up. So we are expecting some rain, so hopefully it kind of holds off for most of the day, so you guys can actually see this car clean, because I would hate to guys check it out when it's just completely filthy and rainy, but who knows, whatever, it's gonna be a good time. But yeah, install is complete, super happy with that. I can honestly say the engine bay now is totally done in terms of what I would like to do to it. That was the last piece that was really kind of bothering me, but it is done, looks amazing, and I'm super happy with it. So if you guys have any questions at all, be sure to ask them below, but in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple. I'll catch you guys in the next one.